What we hear from our small business customers is that they're on average using anywhere from 5 to 25 disconnected apps to be able to run their business on a regular basis. AI can help small business owners to cover a couple of things: who they're ultimately sending their messages to and when to send it. Not based on some prematurely decided automated time frame, but rather based upon customer behavior.
Now in 2026, we know that the businesses that win are the ones that stop guessing and start using connected data to deliver meaningful, personalized experiences.
The way to start is actually with using those existing known customers that you have. Those are customers that have bought from you, that have engaged from your brand, to be able to use them as ultimately advocates to drive your business forward.
Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today we're exploring the future of marketing, where data, automation, and AI, they're no longer optional. They are the foundation of business prosperity. Now in 2026, we know that the businesses that win are the ones that stop guessing and start using connected data to deliver meaningful, personalized experiences. Joining us to discuss this very topic is Rohit Arora, the head of go-to-market for Intuit Mailchimp in Canada and Latin America. Now, with over 15 years of leadership in B2B sales and strategy, Rohit is an expert in helping organizations leverage digital transformation to drive measurable revenue. Today, we have lots to uncover. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest, Rohit.
Hey, Maheen, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having us, for being here. Really appreciate it.
Very, very pleased to have you with us. We have a question for you. How does unified financial and customer data change how small businesses grow?
Well, Maheen, once again, thank you for having us. Super excited to be here today. To set some context, let me tell you a little bit about Intuit Mailchimp. Intuit Mailchimp is a marketing automation platform that helps customers connect with their audiences using email as well as text messaging in a more smarter and data-driven way. Now, here at Intuit, our mission is to power prosperity around the world. And Mailchimp helps to contribute towards that mission. It pulls together information to help small businesses ultimately get a stronger marketing ROI for their business. To answer your question specifically around unifying data, you're absolutely right. It matters more than ever. What we hear from our small business customers is that they're on average using anywhere from 5 to 25 disconnected apps to be able to run their business on a regular basis. Now, whether that is email marketing, their website, e-commerce store, SMS applications, the list goes on. The problem is that all this data is unconnected. And that really leaves the onus on the business owner to really connect the data and try to understand meaningful insights. What that means is the opportunity to really pull that data together. With Mailchimp, the most recent innovations that we've had for e-commerce customers have really done a couple of things. The first of which is enhanced integration with Shopify. That includes adding a website pixel tracking to better understand customers' website browsing behavior, as well as integrations with other e-commerce tools. What does this mean at the end of the day? It ultimately allows our customers to be able to pull information together to drive more meaningful, personalized messages. So at the end of the day, pulling all that information together is so impactful and so important.
Oh, I love the way that you laid this out for our listeners. I mean, connecting your financial and marketing data is probably the clearest path to removing the guesswork from your growth strategy. Next up, Rohit, let's explore how the art of opt-in report reveals changing customer expectations around brand communication. Please tell us, what key insights did the art of the opt-in report reveal about Canadian consumers?
So the art of the opt-in is a report that Mailchimp recently published. And in that report, we heard from about 1,800 Canadian marketers as well as consumers to really understand the natural tension between marketers, the people trying to send messages, and consumers, the people really trying to protect their inboxes. And what we uncovered, Maheen, is the following. And it's that 69% of the Canadians that we surveyed reported to actually opting in to wanting to hear from brands. And it shows that trust that they ultimately have in brands that are out there today. but it really depends on the meaningfulness of that communication. And what I mean by that is that you're very easy to be able to lose the trust from a brand. And Canadian consumers really have a higher expectation on that communication they're getting from a brand. And as long as there's a value exchange, and what I mean by that is whether it be an offer, whether it be a discount, whether it be an early access to something, or just more information, it's really that exchange of value that ultimately matters to them. What that means for businesses is how do they honor that openness in communication and really send messages that are timely and relevant. For example, we can all think of an experience where you've made a purchase, you've gone online or in store, you maybe attended a live event, you made a donation only to get bombarded with nonstop emails that are very generic in nature. And what happens? You quickly hit that unsubscribe button. The marketer has failed to capture your attention and ultimately you won't get another opportunity to do it again. Let me tell you about a customer story to really bring this to life. We recently sat down with Willful, which is a Canadian online estate planning service. Now, they were created based upon the fact that 1 in 2 Canadian parents don't have a will, despite 97% of them saying that they ultimately needed one. Now, writing your online will is a pretty daunting experience. It's emotionally driven, it's often quite procrastinated, and Willful has really helped to remove this friction for people who ultimately want to create a will. If you think about the purchase journey, you maybe start the application online, you're maybe thinking through a very daunting task, and you get stuck. Who's my dependent going to be? Who's my beneficiary going to be? And you ultimately abandon it. Maybe I'll come back to it later. With Willful using Mailchimp, they were able to find out at what point in that journey does the customer ultimately leave that experience, find that, and send them very targeted, personalized messaging around, it looks like you're getting stuck on this particular part of the journey. Here's some information to help you better understand how to decide who your beneficiary is. In the partnership with Mailchimp, Willful has reported 40% of their Mailchimp-driven revenue is tied to their automations. They've seen a 1.7 times lift in their open rate and 18 times lift on their conversion. Just a great example of taking something which is a tricky, often procrastinated journey and being able to use our tools and automations and segments to be able to ultimately complete that very difficult and emotional purchase.
Now, I really like the relevance and the restraint that are clearly the new currencies of customer retention or attention, I should say. Next up, Rohit, let's discuss how AI enables marketers to deliver relevant communication at scale. How can AI help small businesses send fewer but more relevant messages?
Yeah, so AI can help small business owners to cover a couple of things. Who they're ultimately sending their messages to, how they send those messages, whether that be email or SMS, and when to send it. Not based on some prematurely decided automated time frame, but rather based upon customer behavior. So that who, that how, and that why is how AI can help. Now, when you combine that with series of automations, what it uncovers is the ability to really find out those customers that are most highest likely to respond to your messages. Who are those high value customers that are going to make a first purchase or perhaps a repeat purchase? And conversely, who are those customers you should be worried about potentially losing? AI can help combine that. And here's an example to bring that to life. The classic example of you're browsing for something, maybe in an online shopping cart, you decide not sure if I want to purchase it or not, and you forget about it. Sure enough, the next day you receive an email, and that email is for an offer to come back and complete your purchase. This is a great example of AI combined with automations to be able to uncover a very timely moment as well as a relevant message to ultimately convert that customer.
All right, so what we understand from our conversation so far, and this is for our listeners watching, that 2026, AI is here to help us understand and send the right messages to the right people at the right time. And we need to stop focusing on how many emails we send and really start focusing how much ROI those emails drive. So thank you for highlighting that. Next up, let's understand how AI-powered segmentation effectively transforms our marketing from a generic broadcast into a precise, high-value conversation. Please tell us, Rohit, how can founders find the right balance in customer communication?
Yeah, so for founders, I think finding that balance is really a mindset shift. And that's a shift away from, to your point, around a volume of messages that are going out to a quality as well as timeliness and relevance. So our data shows that customers or end customers will often opt out of emails. Why? It's based upon too many emails that they're receiving and quickly to hit that unsubscribe button. However, we also see that customers stay opted in. As I mentioned, 69% of Canadians that we consume opt in. they stay opted in based upon getting that value, and they're getting it at the right time as well. So what Mailchimp is able to ultimately offer is helping with that relevance and timeliness as well. Instead of every single customer receiving the same email with the same message at the same time, it's really personalized based upon what that customer is buying or not buying and how they're interacting with your brand. That's really the way that I think that mindset shift needs to happen.
That's a really insightful way to kind of put across this information. And when every piece of communication, it delivers genuine value, we really stop worrying about frequency and start building actual loyalty. Next up, and finally, let's explore how automation and data are shaping the future of efficient customer engagement. Please, Rohit, tell us what opportunity can give Canadian SMEs a competitive edge in the next year.
So Maheen, in talking to small business owners, e-commerce owners in particular, I think we hear a number of key challenges. The first one is I don't have enough time. The next one is I simply don't have the marketing expertise to do this. Am I getting the right ROI on the platforms that I'm ultimately paying for? And lastly, all my data doesn't connect to one another. If I was to hone it down to one or 2 points, it would really be around how do we help with that time and efficiency side of things. So e-commerce owners, e-commerce sites who are able to use tools like Mailchimp to be able to build those automations, to be able to use the power of AI to be able to draw those timely and relevant communications, those are the people who are really going to stand out. The reality is you're operating with very lean teams, often no marketer even in place. And so how are you using this technology to be able to set up these automations and really have the work being done for you? And that way you can spend the time on what matters to you as a small business owner, which is acquiring more customers, being able to ultimately serve them.
This is a great way to understand that the integration of AI and unified data will undeniably be the primary differentiator for businesses that are looking to scale this year. But overall, this was a great conversation with you, Rohit. Thank you so much for all that you were able to share in such a short given time. As we wrap up now, if you can share one advice to entrepreneurs that are struggling to start their marketing engine, what would it be?
So the advice that I would give to entrepreneurs would be marketing can seem like a very daunting, time-consuming, expensive task. My recommendation is to start small. And you don't have to necessarily spend big dollars to be able to move your marketing engine forward. The way to start is actually with using those existing known customers that you have. Those are customers that have bought from you, that have engaged from your brand, that you have some level of connection with. How do you start with that base to be able to use them as ultimately advocates to drive your business forward? Using something like email and SMS marketing into those existing customers allows them to become advocates. Refer a friend, be able to support that brand forward. That's a small but easy way to be able to start your marketing journey and then evolve from there around money on ads and other areas to focus on. But really start with those known customers that you have to be able to drive your business and ultimately grow it forward.
And that is also a great reminder that simple, consistent, and data-backed actions, it will always outperform complex, erratic tactics. So thank you so much, Rohit, for your time today. And thank you for sharing such great insights and your expertise with us.
Thanks, Maheen. Appreciate it.